So for the Swedish listeners, there is a lot of talk that Amazon is coming to Sweden.
Right,
And
yeah.
I mean, when I go to US, I can't find a bookstore anymore because there's no bookstores. Because like I love to walk around in a bookstore, like in Dubai, we have a big bookstore. But whenever I'm in the US, I can't find any because it seems like Amazon has killed so many different industries. And what should the Swedish businesses be worried about when Amazon is coming? Like just one more thing. In Dubai, Amazon came to Dubai a couple of years ago, and they just bought the biggest like online retailer, and they entered the market. And now I think they're taking a big market share from the malls. And have you been to Dubai?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of shopping malls in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
And if the local citizens are buying everything through Amazon, then they will kill those malls.
See it all around the world.
Exactly.
Around the world, but that's not Amazon's fault per se, though, or you know, if it's anybody's fault. That's just the logic of the internet explosion. You can see it in almost every town in the world. Big, you know, commercial walking streets where there are empty storefronts.
Yeah.
And that is because we like to shop online. And why do we do that? Because it's convenient, it's fast, and it costs lower. And money is going to be the guide for 9 out of 10 shoppers. I live in Lund, university town in the south of Sweden, and we have one of the largest still alive bookstores in Sweden here. Beautiful.
I need to pass by.
Yeah, it's a nice place. And I go there, and every year for Christmas, I like to buy books for Christmas gifts. I go there and I buy this load of books and buy 5 or 6 books for present, nice, thick, beautiful books. And then I go home and I compare it to what I would have paid online. We're looking at a price difference of 100 Swedish kronor, equivalent of about $10 per copy. Mm. That's what it costs me to subsidize my local bookstore. And I love that they're here. I love I can get it. But that, you know, that is not going to be a strong enough case. They're going to have to provide different value. Now, we're also going to have to ask ourselves, you know, what kind of cities do we want? Don't we want a city where everything is available and it's alive? And so, yeah, but then we keep on building these huge malls outside the city because we think that the convenience of driving a car there is more important than you carrying your shit for 200 yards. Or we think that the money is just the religion we live by, so we're not going to support our local bakery or our local whatever it is. So society is changing. I'm not saying that we can or maybe even should do so much about that. But there's definitely a problem with it because you have to look at this from a democratic standpoint too. The street, the market square, the town square is a loud and noisy place where you are confronted with things that you're not comfortable with. There's going to be somebody who's begging you for money. There's going to be somebody promoting a political idea that disgusts you. There's going to be somebody who's not clean. There's going to be somebody that you don't like. There's going to be, you're going to have to just kind of rub up against other people for good and bad. I'd like to think that that's what makes us human. I like to think of that as much as I can, except when I'm not, you know, when I'm tired. I try to think of it as a privilege that I'm being sort of bothered as I'm walking on a regular town square on a regular street. If I move that into a private mall, they can just apply their own rules. No, you can't sell home-baked cookies for your school trip here. It's a private property. You just have to get your ass out of here. Yeah, but there is no public space in town anymore. Everybody's here at Walmart. Yeah, but you can't do that because those are just our rules. Oh, so we just lost a democratic forum. You know, and then when you roll that back even further, you can't even be on the parking lot because now everybody's on the internet on Amazon. Okay, so we roll that back even further. I don't stumble into my neighbors or somebody's begging me for money and I get to look somebody in the face who lives in misery. I don't have to do that in Amazon. So we're building a society where we don't have to need each other. That's potentially dangerous. I can't tell you what we should be doing about it, but I like the idea of paying decent taxes. Everybody pays decent taxes so we can make great things with our towns. More living space. People like to live in urban areas, so let's just make more living space and less storefront space. Fine. Let's just build better walking streets. Let's build trams and railroads, and let's just make it accessible and full of culture and life and not necessarily built around the religion of commerce. That can be a pretty interesting town to live in.
Yeah, and experiences. I mean, if you go to the malls in Dubai, I think sometimes the places that are doing the best are the restaurants and the coffee shops where people go out and meet. You know, I think some of the stores may be empty, but people come there for an experience. Like if you're a teenager in Dubai, you go to the mall, you know, on the weekend. So you can maybe change the space for those things.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, it's interesting questions, and I think everyone needs to think about this because, yeah, it will happen in Sweden as well in the coming years. Same thing has happened in. I mean, I think in Germany they take 40% of the online commerce, and